Yeah, spark that. Yeah. Hey.
Big face.
Okay. I'll ask your boy if you need a little something. I'll be in the hood. I'll be in the hood. I'll ask your boy if you need a little something. I'll be in the hood.
Put 'em up.
What's good, fam? Welcome to Big Faces Worldwide, where we talking nothing but this boxing, man. Hey, man, listen, first off, let me welcome everybody to the channel. And like I always say, fam, if you're new here, I need you to be here. So think about hitting that subscribe button as we stay knee deep into this boxing conversation, man. Now, right now, we got the whole internet, everybody's talking, everybody with a channel, everybody in the comment section, everybody on social media. We are talking about who won the fight between Jermell Charlo and Brian Castano. I think it was a very, very good fight, like the rest of you. I thought that Brian Castano came in and surprised a lot of people, because the consensus before the fight was that Jermell Charlo would win this fight. You know, I seen the fight. I seen before the fight, I said it's going to be a tough fight. You know, I looked at the fight with Arislandi Lara, man, and the whooping that, you know, at times, you know what I mean, at times that he put on Lara was relentless, and I was impressed with him. You know, the fight with Patrick Teixeira, I was impressed with Brian Castano. So therefore, I thought that the fight with Jermell Charlo would be a tough fight, but like everybody else, I assumed that Jermell Charlo would get the win. In fact, I thought that Jermell Charlo would be able to stop Brian Castano, you know, and he almost did several times. You got people saying Charlo wasn't himself. Charlo, in my opinion, didn't come out and fight like the Jermell Charlo we're used to seeing. You know, that wasn't the Charlo that fought Harrison. That wasn't the Charlo that fought, you know, all these other guys that we've seen Charlo fight. This was a different Charlo. You know, in the first round, I kept wondering why is this guy so tentative? Why is he so patient and poised? You know, I never seen him fight, especially in the first round, so patient, so poised as he did in the fight against Castano. So, you know, my mind starts running, man. The wheel starts turning. And I'm like, what could make this world champion just turn his style, just change his style up completely in the first round? You know, at first I'm thinking maybe this is a good thing. He's more patient, he's more focused, he's dialed in. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's see what happens. But now the fight is over, and I go back and I look at the footage before the fight, look at the things Jermell was doing, you know what I mean? And I got to attribute that patientness, being patient, to that guy, Juan Guzman, who he brought in to help in his training camp. I see no other reason why Jermell Charlo will come out and fight the fight that he did. If you think back to that Tony Harrison fight, go back and look at that Tony Harrison fight, the very first round, Jermell came out like a bat out of hell. You understand? He came out like a bat out of hell, and he kind of reminded me of Sean Porter whooping Paulie Malignaggi. That's the kind of intensity Jermell Charlo came out in that fight, man. You know what I'm saying? In the fight with Castano, he was the total opposite. We didn't see that aggression. We didn't see that hunger. You know what I'm saying? We didn't see that, throwing caution to the wind and taking chances. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one, A lot of people say he looked like Adrian Broner, like he did not want to throw punches. And you look at Castano's record, he was 17, he's 17-0 with 12 knockouts. You know, it's not like he's a big knockout puncher. He ain't no Deontay Wilder, Gervonta Davis. So you can't say that Jermell was worried about his power. You know, what was it? It was Juan Guzman, the guy that he brought in to help with training while he was in Houston. He was in the corner. You seen him in the corner. It was Derrick James, and then there was, Juan Guzman. I didn't see him actually making any suggestions or anything in between rounds. At least the camera didn't pick it up. So I don't know whether he was giving them, advice from the corner. Shout out to my man Ed Perez with the super chat. He says, "I'm glad to see you back, brother." Hey, man, I'm glad to be back. For those who don't know, my absence is because I've been making a movie. It is called Little Duke Boy, and we are, basically, we are just about done. We are just about wrapping up that thing, man, and I think it's going to be, it's going to be real well received by the audience, man. It's not your hood shoot 'em up bang bang type of movie. So if you're expecting that, this is the wrong movie, man. It's a movie, about a young kid who goes through things as a young kid and becomes a man and goes through things, and showing the full circle of a young man and wanting to change his life and doing different things and the struggles that it takes to change the life. So that's what I've been doing. That's why I haven't been on YouTube making a lot of videos about this boxing thing, man. But like I said, we're wrapping up. We're damn near finished, and I will be back on here more consistent. So shout out to Ed Perez, man. He's been a very big supporter of this channel, man, and I really, really appreciate every time he comes through. I don't see why Ed Perez does not have a wrench. I don't know if I can do it from here, but we definitely would change that, man. But yeah, man. So we seen Jermell with the ringside of the Lions, which is his own YouTube channel where he, does his little documentary thing and, lets us see the inside of his camp, the inside of his home, his life with his children, his beautiful wife. And I do say that respectively. His beautiful wife, Shay, and his beautiful kids, and we get to see a different side of Jermell Charlo. But while watching the ringside with the Lions, we also seen this guy, Juan Guzman. Jermell clearly states that he brought him in to help him out with different things. Now, while he's in Houston, Guzman was set to train him. You understand what I'm saying? Now, Derrick James, he made it clear Derrick James was the head trainer and will remain the head trainer, but Guzman was brought in to help while he's in Houston and to help on different things. So when the bell rings with him and Castano and Charlo comes out, very, very focused, very, very patient, very, selecting his punches, very methodical, I would contribute that to Juan Guzman. Now, for the second fight, I think Charlo needs to go back to the Charlo before Juan Guzman, which is you got to throw a lot of punches. He was missing a lot of punches. His timing was off through the whole fight. He was missing a lot of punches. Yes, he hurt. He hurt Castano quite a few times, but he was missing a lot of punches, missing a lot of combinations. And when you throwing those big bolo shots, man, that takes a lot out of you. You understand what I'm saying? So down the stretch, you could see the tiredness between both fighters. Both of them was throwing very, very heavy punches, and both of them was very fatigued down the stretch of the fight. But in the second fight, if there's a second fight, Jermell Charlo's going to have to go back to the old Charlo, and become very, very aggressive, but still be selective, still be cautious, still be focused, dialed in, but he got to throw his hands a lot more. He got to press a lot more. There was a lot of times when Brian Castano was pressing Jermell Charlo to the ropes. Derek James didn't like it. Guzman didn't like it. The Charlo fans did not like it. Why was Castano able to press Jermell Charlo to the ring, to the ropes the way he did? You got to credit Castano being very strong, being powerful, and really training for this fight. If Charlo wants to win the second fight, he cannot let that happen. He got to stay off the ropes, and he got to be more aggressive. He got to throw more punches, take more chances. Because if the same Jermell Charlo come out and fight the same fight that he did, we're going to see Brian Castano win the second fight. Castano, on the other hand, man, he threw a career low. Castano copy box numbers are usually way higher than they was that fight night. That tells me that, Jermell took him out of his game somewhat. He took him out of his game somewhat where he wasn't throwing the punches that he normally punched. And that comes with the territory. When you step up in competition, when you get to the top, the tippity top of the mountain, man, things are going to change, man. When you're fighting the best fighting the best, things are going to happen. Fighters are going to look different. Your favorite fighters are going to look different. Only the special, and I do mean special fighters, are able to separate themselves when they get to that tippity top and show you, what it's really about. Jermell Charlo and Brian Castano both are exceptional fighters. You know what I mean? Castano came in there with a game plan, saying, I'm not here to lose. Everybody's counting me to lose, but I'm not going to lose. You know what I mean? Excuse this siren, man. Hopefully it's not interfering, with the video too much, because I feel like getting up and, moving around and all that, man. But yeah, man, Brian Castano came in and did his thing. I mean, his high guard was very, very impressive, man. Like his high guard was blocking a lot of those shots that Charlo was trying to get in. That Charlo, usually that 1-2 was popping. That 1-2 was getting in there. You know what I mean? Although he did catch him with a lot of those 1-2s, it didn't have the effect that it normally has because Castano had that very, very tight guard. That guard was tight. You know what I'm saying? So Castano needs to, come in with that same mentality. Only adjustment I think he needs to make is to throw more punches and take more chances. I thought, there was at times where he was a little tentative. I know in that second round when Jermell hurt him, I said, oh, this is going to be a short night. This is going to be a short night. He can't take his power. It's going to be a short night. And you could see after he got hurt, the rest of that round, he fought very, very timid. He was staying away from Charlo. He was on the back foot. He was circling the ring, acting timid to throw punches. But credit to Brian Castano, man. And I do sincerely want to give him his credit. He came out in that third round as if that second round never happened. And that's what you got to do as a professional boxer, man. You cannot, focus on the previous round where you got hooked or where you got hurt. You know what I mean? Because that's going to take you out your game. If you keep thinking about it and that's on your mind, you're going to fight very tentative, very timid, very scared. But he did not let that that stick in his head, and he came out there in that third round and he did his thing, man. What we got in the chat? Smith and Wesson 4-5. Charlo needs to use the jab more and throw body shots. That is a very, very, very good point, man. Jermell Charlo, like the commentators even talked about it. They say Jermell Charlo throws 20% of his shots are body shots. And that's not good, man. That's not good. To be a guy who punches hard in both hands, you got to get that body work in, man. You got to soften your opponent up, and he just didn't do it. He just didn't throw enough body shots to hurt Castano. And the fight with Rosario, he went in there and did what he had to do, far as the body shots. But Charlo's not known as a big body shot puncher. 20% of his shots is body shots. That number needs to go up in the second fight if he wants to be successful, man. And credit to Castano. You know what I mean? Like I said, his guard was impeccable, man. There wasn't a whole lot of opportunities for Charlo to get in there and throw them body shots, but he has to create them on his own. He has to be willing to get in there on the inside. Now, I talk about this a lot, man. Some fighters, when you have a height differential like Jermell and Castano had, I believe Jermell was almost damn near 6 foot, 5'11", 6, something like that. And Castano is 5'7". And sometimes when you're trying to throw the punches that you normally throw, with a shorter man, they're not landing. They're not landing like you're used to them landing. You understand what I'm saying? They're not available like they're used to being. You could just see that with many different fighters who has a very height differential. There's one I wanted to talk about, but I just cannot think of it right now. Where the fighter was so short, and the guy is really trying to lay his body work in, but he can't. Oh, Earl Spence. Earl Spence, Sean Porter comes to mind. Now, when you look at that fight with Earl Spence and Sean Porter, you've seen a lot of low blows in the fight with Sean Porter, Earl Spence. Now, they wasn't actually called, but, if you go back and look at the fight, there was not intentional low blows, but there was a lot of low blows landed in that fight because of the height differential and the fact that Sean Porter likes to get real low. You know what I'm saying? So the punches that Earl Spence are usually digging into the body, a lot of them were catching them below the belt. Yeah, a lot of them were catching them below the belt. But I seen that, the punches that Jermell usually land, well, he was missing. Those combinations he usually hit and he was missing. And I think there was a lot of credit goes to Castano being the shorter guy, the much shorter guy. So Charlo's going to have to make that adjustment. He's going to have to bring in small, shorter sparring partners. He's going to have to bring in some shorter sparring partners so he can, get used to punching that height. Because, the way he was missing those punches, man, it's like he didn't bring those guys in. You know what I mean? He was not able to get that distance under control. You know what I mean? He was not able to get in a rhythm like he wanted to, like he normally does, man. But I think he showed a lot of heart. Jermell Charlo was in there. And times when you think, Castano was about to run away with it, Jermell Charlo stepped up and bit down on his gum shield and showed you exactly who he was. Because, there were points in that fight where Brian Castano was whooping Jermell Charlo's ass. You know what I'm saying? To be frank, and vice versa. There's times when Jermell Charlo was whooping Brian Castano's ass. There was some ass whooping going on in that fight. You know what I mean? And it was a beautiful fight. I want to see it again. There's a lot of fans that want to see it again. Will we see it again? Hopefully. Now we're hearing, Jermell, he's talking about the second fight. He's talking about this time he'll knock him out. He talked about how, in the second fight with Tony Harrison, how he made the adjustments and was able to knock Tony Harrison out. So he says that, he'll be able to make adjustments. He'll be able to go in there and do the same to Brian Castano. And that's very, very good to hear, because I tell you this, man, when he was in the ring and Jim Gray asked him about it, you know, he didn't sound too sure that he wanted to take this second fight. He didn't sound too sure. And then he must have thought about it. Jim Gray asked him again, and then he said, yeah, yeah, I definitely want this fight. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to this fight. Let's see what's going on in chat. My man CMD Boxing Reports. What's good, team? I can't wait until your movie hit the scene. I appreciate that, fam. It's coming out real soon. You know what I mean? Be on the lookout. We're going to put teasers out. We're going to put a lot of promotion on this thing, man. So, in the next couple weeks, you'll be seeing that. Pancho Villa, what's going on with your fam? He says that was a real good fight, but a bad decision, man. And that's the thing. Jermell Charlo, he don't want to continue his career having that bad decision on his resume. There was a poll done, I believe it was on Twitter, and it was like almost 70% of the people that participated in the poll thought that Jermell Charlo lost that fight. It was a very, very close fight. But, a lot of people thought that Castano did enough to win the fight. You know what I'm saying? I was surprised at how Castano was able to buckle Charlo's knees and hurt him a few times. We never seen that I never seen it with Jermell. He has always showed an ironclad chin. He still showed the chin, because he was able to shake it off, get his legs back, and continue to go to war. But Brian Castano was able to hurt him. And that gave him confidence after that third round. The second round, he was shook up. He was timid. You know what I mean? He knew Jermell Charlo can punch. He knew that he can hurt him. But then his confidence came right back in the third round, because he know that now I can hurt Jermell Charlo just as much as he can hurt me. And that brought his confidence right back. And it's good that it came right in the next round, because, he was ready. He was ready. He was there to fight. And the fight continued to go back and forth, seesaw, back and forth. And I have to say that, Brian Castano definitely had the more eye-catching shots. He definitely had the more eye-catching shots. Those combinations he was laying on Charlo, were very, very pleasing to the crowd, man. I enjoyed them. My man Pancho Villa says they both got solid chins. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, Castano was hurt multiple times in that fight. But you got to give him credit. He did not go down. He did not get stopped. He was able to have his wits about him, and was able to, avoid being knocked out. And I got to say this, Jermell Charlo, he's going to have to learn how to cut the ring off. Now, if he was able to cut the ring off, and those later, I think it was the 8th round or something, when Mel had him in real big trouble, and Castano had enough awareness to get away from him. It was like he was playing football and was juking him, and Mel was just following him around. He go this way, he stop, he go this way. No, you have to learn how to cut the ring off, man, to anticipate where he's going to be and get there. You understand what I'm saying? If he was able to cut the ring off and get him in the corner, maybe we'll be talking something different right now. But he wasn't able to do that, man. I think he needs to practice on cutting the ring off more. He needs to practice on throwing a lot more punches, practice on being more aggressive, get a shorter sparring partner in there so he can get used to throwing those punches, at that angle, because he was missing a lot of punches. But I'm looking forward to it, man. Brian Castano did his thing, shocked a whole lot of people. including myself. You know, he didn't shock me as, you know, I knew he was tough, you know, but he shocked me with the amount of toughness he was able to give Charlo, the amount of trouble he was able to give Charlo. Now I knew it was going to be a tough, rough, close fight, but like I said at the beginning of this video, I just thought that Charlo would wear him down. He's the bigger guy. I thought that he would be able to get him out of there with his punching power, but that was not the case. Brian Castano had other plans, man. But both fought a very good fight, and you know, both I believe can make adjustments to combat the other. It's about who's able to capitalize on them, and you know, we'll see what happens, man. But listen, man, I ain't gonna take up too much of your time, man. Like I said, Lil Duke Boy, be on the lookout for it. It's coming real soon. Hopefully I'll be able to get on here and make more videos, man. But in the meantime and in between time, stay blessed and keep on supporting this sport that we love called boxing. Peace. I'll holla back.
Yeah, spark that.